I am a 26-year-old who has been dating my 27-year-old boyfriend for 2 years. Within those 2 years, I realized that I put my emotional needs to the side to tend to his. For example, if we are both having a bad day, I would put my emotions to the side so he can talk about what is bothering him and I can comfort him. He's admitted to me that he feels I am the stronger one, emotionally, out of the both of us. Now, here is why I get upset and cannot tend to his love language. One of his love languages is words of affirmation, and he constantly asks me if I still love him or if I'm happy with him. Recently, something happened to me physically where I was in a lot of pain and could only lay down to get some type of relief, if any. My boyfriend was there with me while I was in pain. However, he kept asking me if I still loved him and if I was happy with him. I got fed up to the point where I told him I wouldn't answer that question anymore and to stop asking me. I could tell I hurt his feelings, but I was in a lot of discomfort where I needed him, and I got upset that I had to put my physical and emotional suffering to the side to tend to him once again. Am I the idiot? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. One of his love languages is words of affirmation, and he constantly asks me if I still love him or if I'm happy with him. Emotionally healthy people do not constantly solicit positive feedback. For him to keep pressuring you to address his emotional insecurities while you were dealing with immense physical pain showed complete indifference and a total lack of empathy. In Maslow's hierarchy of needs, physiological needs like rest and relief from pain are foundational. When those are unmet, emotional needs for safety and intimacy are mostly irrelevant. Him and his hang-ups needs to take second place while you dealt with physical issues. For him to first not support you during your need, and then to make it all about him and his need for reassurance because you hurt his feelings makes him an AH 100 times over. You are not the idiot. Comment 2. Not the idiot. I don't know about love language, but it seems he is very needy of these affirmations to the point that he cannot be appropriately supportive of you at all, even when you are in real pain and physically impaired. In general, I would expect your partner to be able to manage to put himself aside at least to some degree to be there for you under circumstances such as these. It also seems odd to me to place the burden or demand of providing these affirmations when you are clearly in a position of needing support. It would possibly be different if he were caring for you and you just thanked him and told him you love and appreciate him rather than him asking you this all the time. I'm not sure I get how asking for this is a love language. I may need to do some research on that. I'm so sorry you are hurting and I wish you a speedy recovery. Comment 3. Not the idiot. It's not words of affirmation. It's deep-seated insecurity and lack of sense of self. He needs therapy and to get okay with himself. Can't love nobody else until you love yourself first. Also, women aren't here to fix men. He needs to fix himself. Look, he's not ready to show up in a relationship and be there for someone else. Not until he can get okay in himself. If he were more secure and it was just an attention thing, you could try some strategies like setting a 20-minute timer and you each get supportive listening for 20 minutes. But he's incapable and you will never get taken care of in this relationship. So, do what you need to, knowing he's incapable of showing up for you. Now, for the next story. My 30-year-old female chiropractor does an adjustment where he lifts up the top half of my body off of the table and lowers it on his fist as an adjustment. This can be done face down, but it doesn't work as well. He has said before that I just need to buy a fist to lay on at home since it gives me so much relief. Anyways, today he told me he did that adjustment on his wife and she asked him if he does that to patients. She was not happy, and he told her only on male patients. I couldn't tell if he was joking or not. I didn't know what to say, so I just said he was a doctor doing his job. Maybe I should have told him to not do it. We are somewhat close, and I've been going for so long that at this point, he just does whatever to me. I told him I wanted dry needling on my lower back, and he offered to do it on my glutes, completely serious. He has offered it on my hips before too, typically asking more than once. So I don't get why an adjustment where he's holding me basically would be a problem when it's okay for him to see my naked ass. It's all medical to me, but maybe I'm being oblivious. Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. I am having a really hard time envisioning the adjustment and what could possibly be wrong with it. Honestly, just reading this, your chiropractor gives me the ick. He doesn't sound professional and like he's trying to coerce you into sexual acts. Not the idiot. Comment 2. You should find a new chiropractor. They're being inappropriate. I cannot imagine my chiropractor ever telling me that they're lying to their partner about how they treat me. That's so freaking weird and unprofessional. Good grief. Comment 3. No idiots here except the wife, but I don't think you should be going to a chiropractor, and they most certainly are not doctors. Now, for the next story. My wife and I have recently had a disagreement regarding daycare. My wife would like to have a parent at home instead of using daycare. The problem is, my wife makes more than me, so it makes no sense for her to quit her job. I do not want to quit my job and be a stay-at-home dad. My wife feels I am being selfish and not doing what is best for our kid. I do not see much issue with daycare. We can afford it. She then took a jab at me and my pay. I apologize that I did not have the opportunity to go to school like she did. I have not spoken to her since, but been thinking, am I in the wrong? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. As someone who was forced into a SAP position, I was fired for my pregnancy. It's really hard to do. It also puts you in such a vulnerable place, and I don't feel like people talk about that enough. I love my partner, and I'm grateful his job covers all our bills, but I'm completely dependent on him because I lost my job. Even though he's been 100% supportive of me staying home, there's also a lot of guilt that comes with not working. And don't get me wrong, I love spending the day with my daughter, but being a SAP is hard enough without it being forced onto you. I just miss the freedom that comes from having your own income and having a time where I interacted with other adults. Comment 2. Not the idiot. Not everyone is made for being a SAP, especially when you don't want to. Having a miserable parent around at home does not make for a better life for your kid. Sounds like she's insecure about not staying home, so to make herself feel better, she's telling you should do it. So then, at least someone is home. Comment 3. Info. Why does your wife want to stop daycare? If she wants to stop it because she thinks it's best for the child to grow up with a SAP, you can tell her it's pointless if the parent in question is unhappy and would rather be at work. The child will feel it, and things will blow up sooner or later. Now, for the next story. So, I, 25-year-old female, just got married last Saturday, the 9th. I had a beautiful ceremony up in the mountains overlooking a lake. It was a nice, quick ceremony. Then we had a beautiful dinner. After dinner, we had speeches from both the maid of honor and best friend. The whole wedding was supposed to have less than people, but it was still supposed to be cocktail and a little bit formal, which I specified on the invitations. After the speeches, everybody kind of got together in the living room. The cabin was really big and could accommodate up to 30 people comfortably. When I saw that everybody was looking at a fight that was on TV, I told my husband, 29-year-old male, that it was upsetting me that instead of celebrating the wedding, they were just watching TV. I asked him to shut it off and tell everybody to go outside and enjoy the party. Instead, he argued with me and told me that it would only take 20 minutes. We later talked about it. He understood he was in the wrong and how this was very important to me. I ended up asking them myself. Everybody just looked at me as if I was crazy. This caused me to have a panic attack, and I kept myself in one of the bathrooms for about an hour. My husband was with me the whole time trying to calm me down. They eventually turned the TV off and started enjoying the wedding, but this whole issue ruined the wedding for me. I can't stop thinking about it. Was I the idiot for asking them to turn it off? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Everyone sucks here, except your husband. The party reception seemed to flow from the cabin to outside. Should they be watching TV during this time? I wouldn't, but I can see how some wouldn't think it's a big deal. Instead of giving them the 20 minutes, you asked them to shut it off, and because they looked at you funny, you had an hour-long panic attack in the bathroom, and them watching TV ruined your whole wedding? You seem kind of high maintenance and exhausting. TBH, the idea that this one thing canceled out your vows and the joy of being husband and wife? Maybe you need to shift your focus away from those watching TV and back to you and hubby and the beginning of your new chapter. Comment 2. No idiots here from me. It sounds like a very informal event, just like a backyard BBQ. Probably people were relaxed, chilling out, having a chat. Someone put on the TV and found something interesting to watch. I understand why the OP finds this upsetting. My wedding was on the same evening as a Champions League final, so I definitely know how it is. Quite annoying. But one forgets that one's wedding is only extremely important to them, not to everyone else. For everyone else, it is *, just *, a party. They were there to have fun, and they did. Comment 3. If you are going to have a TV at your wedding reception, somebody is going to turn it on. And if you turn it off, somebody else will turn it on, and again and again. Removal of the TV prior to the event was the only way to keep this from happening. Rookie mistake. Now, for the next story. I was playing with my 9-year-old nephew and his dog outside. My nephew finds an anthill. I say, "Don't touch the anthill." Nephew proceeds to do what almost every child in history has done and pokes the anthill with a stick. I say, "Okay, stop it. They're crawling up the stick." Nephew doesn't drop the stick. I tell him he's about to learn a hard lesson and then sit back and drink my beer. A few minutes later, my nephew starts screaming because he got 3 ant bites. I take him inside to put Benadryl cream on them. He's a little tearful, but he's fine. His mom asks what happened, and I tell her. She asks, "Why didn't you make him leave it alone?" I said I told him to, and he didn't listen. She says, "You should have taken the stick away from him and distracted him." I said jokingly, "He's a 9-year-old boy, not a puppy." Wrong thing to say. My sister-in-law and brother start yelling at me. She's more upset than the kid is. Am I the idiot? Now here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. These things happen. You probably should have warned him that they'd bite, but he is fine and will have learned a lesson about listening and about wildlife. Your sister's approach may work for her, and I know this will freak some people out, I think kids have to learn that consequences do actually exist at some point. Distracting them doesn't teach them anything, and it's exhausting. Your sister may want to spend every waking moment helicoptering over her son, but no one else in the world will want to do that. This is not a big deal. The kid is fine. Comment 2. Yep, well, now he knows not to mess with ants. Quite the valuable lesson. While distracting him in the moment might have avoided him getting bitten right then and there, what's going to happen when no one notices him going to battle with the ant colony? Now he knows the concept of strategic retreat. Not the idiot. This is called tough love. Comment 3. Not the idiot. I said jokingly, he's a 9-year-old boy, not a puppy. This, but not jokingly. You already told him twice. Ant bites won't kill him or scar him. So if he didn't want to listen, letting it happen was perfectly acceptable. It's not playing with fire or jumping off a cliff. It's ant bites. Now, for the next story. I, 28-year-old female, dislike cooking. Don't get me wrong, I cook for survival. But it is not something I like or enjoy. At my in-laws, both my mother-in-law and sister-in-law are stay-at-home partners and love to cook. Neither of their husbands lift a finger to help, and they like it that way. Before marriage, I was treated as a guest. But since my marriage 6 months ago, they expect, want, and demand I cook with them. First few times I went along with it, but I hated it. It took 5-7 hours to make food and do dishes. So when they planned to get together last weekend and discuss the menu, I suggested ordering in. This way, everyone can be more relaxed. They looked like I insulted them. I told them they can cook, but to give me a list of what I should make, I will buy it. They said that's not how traditions work, and if I hate it so much, I can relax with men. That's exactly what I did, much to their anger. I helped set the place and serve, but that was it. As we were eating, my husband commented how good something tasted. My mother-in-law immediately went on about how I wouldn't be cooking anything for him. When he said he can cook for himself, my sister-in-law chimed in with how her husband or dad never had to cook a day in their life, how marrying lazy women like me has ruined his manhood. I looked at my husband and we both left. My mother-in-law and sister-in-law are blasting our phones over my arrogance and calling him spineless. Even my mom is taking their side now. Am I the idiot for refusing to cook? Now, here are the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. They're just resorting to outdated sexist stereotypes. I cook and often enjoy it because it means that I get to eat what I want, but I would really rather not eat food prepared by somebody who hated doing it. I also would not put up with insulting witches. Comment 2. Not the idiot. They are welcome to uphold the patriarchy and decide their value comes from serving men. That's not you and your husband. He said he can cook for himself. Awesome response. Let them be angry. And add your mom to the pile. Your marriage is what matters. Comment 3. Wow. No, you are not the idiot. His family is a bunch of sexist jerks. Having a penis does not render you unable to cook, and having a vagina does not make cooking your job. His family sucks, and so does your mom. It's not 1950. If you like this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day.